Welcome to Red-tastic. Story 1. Am I the a-hole for not committing to caring for an older relative with Down syndrome? Hi y'all, just a bit of context. Recently, I lost my nan, who was the primary carer for my uncle, who is 37 and has Down syndrome. In response to this, my mom has had to pick up the pieces and start caring for my uncle. She has always maintained the position that should something ever happen to my nan, she would always take care of my uncle. She has since moved into my nan's house, and that's that. It's worth adding that my mom has 2 other adult siblings, my aunt and their older brother, neither of which have expressed any inclination to care for my uncle now or ever and don't want to take any responsibility. The problem I have right now is that my mom wants to make me a legal guardian and carer for my uncle should anything happen to her. This would make me responsible for his well-being, health, finances, etc. Essentially what's expected from a parent looking after a child. Due to the age of both my mom and my uncle, it is inevitable someone will have to care for my uncle after my mom for potentially 20 plus years. Thing is, she never asked me if this was what I wanted. She just assumed I would care for him, no questions asked. When I told her I wanted more time and didn't want to commit to anything yet, she screamed at me and said I was selfish and put the phone down on me. I haven't spoken to her in 12 hours or so, and I can't stop thinking about it. Of course, I love my uncle to bits and would never want to see him end up in the system or sheltered accommodation, but the thought of having to care for an older adult with learning difficulties and health conditions scare me. I'm only 23 and still in university myself. I had plans to move abroad, go traveling, etc. Things I wouldn't be able to do if I had to care for my uncle full time. I mean, if the chips were down and no one else came forward, I would do it. But I would be saying goodbye to my life to care for someone else's. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to jump into the fray straight away? Is this something that should be expected of me, even though there are far older members of the family in a better position than me? Should I accept there are things in life we can't change and this is one of them? Edit. After reading all your comments and mulling it over for a couple of hours, I can safely say I'm not ready for this responsibility. My life would be completely different. I only just got comfortable with the direction it's heading now, and I would have so much to lose. Having to care for an uncle would be so much work, which I don't feel I'm prepared for. I know I wouldn't be happy, and my uncle deserves far better than that. I won't be signing as my uncle's guardian. I'm going to tell my mom that I can't sign and that she's wrong to expect me to do so. We have always had a close relationship, but this is a bridge too far and is something we have to disagree on and will more than likely push us apart. I guess whatever happens will happen, and if she can't understand my point of view, then I will have to accept that and move on. If we are still on speaking terms, I'm going to try and propose bringing my mom's siblings into the discussion to look at other options for my uncle's care. But in all honesty, I'm not sure how well that would work. You're not the a-hole OP, and I'm glad you've decided to not sign to be your uncle's guardianship. It's too much of a responsibility to put on you, and I really hope your mom understands that and finds another option instead of defaulting to you and expecting you to take her place. If something were to happen to her, you should look into care programs for your uncle again. I'm sure there's a program out there that will do him good. Now for some comments. Definitely not the a-hole. Your mom shouldn't push you to do something like this without really thinking about it. Taking care of a human life, it's not something someone should take lightly. And your responsibilities should not include something like that at this point of your life unless you have your own home and a good job to be able to maintain yourself and someone else. Your mom is probably really stressed out with all of this and she is probably taking it out on you, but she will come around, hopefully. Not the a-hole. being a loving niece and being a 24/7 carer is totally different. It sounds like your uncle would do better in a home where someone can take care of him, because being a carer is too much to throw on someone when they are not ready for it. If your mom wants to take on the task herself, kudos, but she can't expect to throw that burden on you. Shit, why doesn't she hold her other siblings responsible for not taking on the burden of your uncle, while she expects it from just you? Your uncle will adjust to a home with a carer, and you can still be a faithful, loving niece. Not the a-hole. Did you know there might be services available to your family that you're leaving on the table by handling this as a personal family issue? What I mean is that my sister has very severe autism, and she lives in a group home with 5 other people in a cute residential community where she receives care 24/7, 365. This is paid for by Medicaid. You might want to reach out to Human Services or Adult Protection Services in your area to help straighten this out. This is so hard. My heart goes out to you. Best of luck. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for not leaving my children with my mother-in-law unsupervised because of fast food? I, 28 female, used to have a great relationship with my mother-in-law, 58 female, until my children started growing up. I have 3 boys, 4 years and 6-year twins. My mother-in-law wants the boys over the weekend to spend time with them, and I am grateful she takes them so I can clean, relax, and go out with my husband. I'm very peculiar about the children eating fast food like McDonald's and KFC. KFC they've had along with Subway and some other fast food places, but I avoid ordering from those places. When they get older, sure, I will be unable to stop them from eating fast food, but when they are this young and eat what I give them, I rather they don't know McDonald's even exists. My mother-in-law rolled her eyes the first time I mentioned this and asked her to not order it. She told me she thought I was being ridiculous because my husband ate McDonald's every day after school and he turned out fine. Insert him having the most delicate stomach I've seen on a human being. I told her she can think it's silly, just to please not order it for the boys. She agreed. A few weekends ago, surprise, surprise, the twins came back talking about their secret meal from Mummy. Giggling around, I took them to the mall and they were frantically pointing at the Big M, begging me to go. I asked them how they knew it was so good, and they said because they ate it, but I can't know. FBI will draft them for their lying abilities for sure. I called my mother-in-law and told her I did not appreciate it, and she should at least tell me next time. She said okay, it was a one-time deal. Next weekend, same thing, except the kids ate a ton of snacks, drank only sugar drinks, and stayed up till 12 a.m. That includes the 4-year-old. I tried to talk to my mother-in-law again and told her we can make compromises, but she needs to be willing to work with me. Again, okay, sure. Kids come back the 3rd weekend giggling again and telling their dad they ate McDonald's 3 times over at grandma's. I got pissed off at this point and next weekend just kept the kids. My mother-in-law came over and asked me if something was wrong. I told her I was disappointed. She was completely ignoring me. She said it was her house, her rules. I was controlling and needed to get myself a hobby. She also called me an a-hole when I said from now on she is welcome to visit them at our house, but they won't be going over to her house. My husband backed me up, which is nice, but am I the a-hole? My mom said I overreacted. Thank you all for validating my emotions. I was beginning to think I was being petty and going crazy. I do know the lying is a bigger issue, and that was discussed the first time and was cleared so far. Kids came back and we asked them what they ate and they told us everything. For everyone saying, shut the F up, if you want a babysitter for the weekend, well, I can watch my kids and I can call a babysitter. I won't screw with what I stand for because I want someone to take my kids for a day or two. To those that went crazy that I'm creating picky eaters and withholding certain foods, I can only laugh. They have become picky eaters after eating so much junk and now refuse healthy foods and keep begging to get the same cool nights they have at grandma's. So yeah, she made fast food to be this unicorn food that I have to spend 20-30 minutes trying to explain why we cannot have cheeseburgers for dinner and candy and stay up late. How am I the villain for saying, hey, since they spent so much time with you, how about working on a compromise on the food they get? Did I say completely no to junk food? No, I said I want to work something out. I'm willing to let her incorporate it in their schedule, just not 2 days out of the week. There is a golden middle, people. You're not the a-hole, OP. You told your mother-in-law about how you don't feed your kids fast food and she rolled her eyes at you. Then she went ahead and gave your children fast food against your wishes, and she told them to lie about it. I feel like some people would have stopped letting her take the kids because of this, but you still talked to her and gave her another chance, then another, and she blew them all. She doesn't respect your parenting choices, and she's also willing to risk the kids' lives to prove a point to you. She's an a-hole, OP. You should stick to your guns and only allow her supervised visits until she apologizes and changes. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Your mother-in-law knew what she was doing. You quickly saw the results of them getting a taste of that addictive food. I love me some McDonald's, but I get your concerns. It isn't just a health thing either. It is a financial thing. Those places are becoming ridiculously expensive. I don't blame you one bit for trying to hold off on your kids knowing about these places and bugging you to buy them that food. Not the a-hole. You have tried hard to work with her, but she's not playing ball. You've not much choice otherwise apart from letting her feed your kids junk food the whole weekend. I don't mind my kids, who are a similar age to yours, having the occasional McDonald's, but I would have been furious if someone took them 3 times in a weekend, or 2 weekends in a row too. Be glad your other half is supporting you and just stick to your guns. I have not even touched upon how cross I would be if a grandparent got my kids to lie to me in that way. Not the a-hole. Your mother-in-law has not only blatantly disrespected your wishes, but is making your children keep secrets from you in an attempt to cover her grown ass. Any adult knows eating McDonald's is bad, especially 3 times in one weekend. She is genuinely doing this on purpose. She can spoil her grandkids in ways that don't involve disrespecting their parents. She could use the money she's spending on junk food and buy some movies and popcorn, and have a movie night at grandma's, instead of repeatedly buying fast food for no reason. I'm sorry you're dealing with this. I've dealt with something similar, and it is extremely aggravating when someone tries to do something with your children when you ask them not to repeatedly. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for how I handled this situation with my daughter-in-law? I'm very close with my daughter-in-law. She's a lovely person. I don't mind her coming over with the kids. I also don't mind watching my grandchildren for a few hours here and there, if she asks me. I have 2 from her and my son, my old child ages 18 months and 3 years old. However, I don't go out of my way to watch my grandchildren. If she asks and I'm not working or if I'm free, then of course I'll say yes. But I'm not one to offer up a free weekend here or there. It's just not in my style to do so. I raised my son, and while I do love my grandchildren and want to spend time with them, I don't have interest in helping raise them. Recently, my daughter-in-law sat me down and admitted to me that she was in therapy for a multitude of reasons. She opened up to me that she was very stressed and said that she had been diagnosed with postpartum depression after the birth of her second child. I apologized for not noticing what she was going through, and she said it was okay, that she did what she had to do in order to hide it. She then told me, however, that she was upset with me for never offering to watch the kids, that she had to always come to me. She says that her mom occasionally takes them for a weekend, but that it's not often and that she needs more breaks. I told her I could take them a little bit more, but she needs to tell me what she needs, and that I'm no mind reader. If she wants something from me, she has to come forward. She got very upset with this and said I should just offer as a grandma. I told her that grandmothers are not immediate child care, though I would be more than willing to watch them more now that I knew about her situation. She was still hurt by what I said and left. My son is now upset about how I talked to his wife and said that I shouldn't have said any of that. I really do feel guilty now, and I'm wondering if I'm an a-hole for how I've treated being a grandma and how I talked to my daughter-in-law. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. You aren't a mind reader. Give yourself a break. While it's nice that your son is defending his wife, not cool that she probably took what you said out of context and told him you were mean. To her, because of the PPD, it could have come across like that. You need to sit them both down and calmly explain exactly what you mean, that you aren't being hateful towards her or trying to cause problems, but simply you can't read her mind. You don't know when she needs a break. Good luck, Grandma. Not the a-hole. You're doing them a favor by babysitting when they ask you. They should appreciate that, not just take it for granted, and then be disappointed that you don't offer more. I don't think you should feel guilty about it. And don't accept the guilt trips they're throwing at you. If your daughter-in-law doesn't want to ask and wants you to offer, maybe you can talk to your son and ask him to quietly let you know when she's not doing well. That way you can offer when she needs it, and without her having to ask. No a-holes here. She says she's been really struggling. You maybe say something along the lines of, "Let me know if there is anything I can do to help." She says, "I need help in this form. I need you to offer to take care of the kids from time to time. I need you to initiate this." Reaching out and initiating things can be super hard when depressed. I would say there isn't much point in looking back. Of course you couldn't be a mind reader. That's not at all reasonable. So now the question is what to do going forward. It seems pretty clear that she has expressed that what would be most helpful to her would be for you to occasionally pick up the phone to call her and offer to take the kids for a bit. Is that something you can do for her and your grandchildren?